Hey, good buddies, how's it going? I am your good buddy, Roger.
You fucking dick.
Brandon's eating birthday cake over here. Brandon's the birthday boy today.
You fucking
He's a
dick.
birthday boy.
You fucking brought it in while I had cake in my mouth.
He did. I waited for him to put a fork full of cake into his mouth.
Fucking douche. All right.
Got him a slice of a triple chocolate cake for his birthday.
Hershey's triple chocolate. This man's gonna have me shitting for days.
Oh my god.
The worst. All right, so that's a new record for fastest F-bomb, right?
I don't know.
Next episode, I just bring us in. I go, fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
That could happen. That is a real thing that could happen.
I knew you were gonna do that, crappy son of mother. Anyway, hello, I'm your good buddy Brandon. I'm sorry about all that.
Happy birthday, buddy.
I don't need your birthday wishes. Thank you though.
On this fine day of birth of Brandon, we are covering Hinamatsuri, episodes 9 through 12.
Wait, 9 through 12?
Yeah.
9 through 12, yeah.
9 through 12.
Sure. On the wrong page in my notes.
Yep. So we're going to clear out the series. Next week, of course, we'll probably say this again at the end. Next week, of course, we're going to My Hero Academia episodes. What was it? 60? Sorry, not 60. It was
50 something.
57 through 60.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think that is right. I'll look it up in the middle of the episode so I can say it right if we said it wrong here. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Outside of that, good buddy, what you been watching this week?
What have I been watching? Sorry, I'm done with the cake. There's more cake. I'll eat the rest of it. I'm hungry. Let's see. I did watch new MHA. That was pretty great. Did watch new Cells at Work. That was a fun one. It was a good time for everybody. Did watch a new Hanibado.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
How'd you feel about it? Feels like a good build-up.
Yeah, it feels like, is the next episode the last episode?
Maybe. I have to double check, but I think it might. I think the end of this episode showed like the title for the next episode. No. I think it might be the last episode. I don't remember.
It's the 12th episode.
One of the episodes I watched, like it was all the next one's episode 12, and the preview was like whatever part 1, and I was like, oh shit. But no, I think that might have been Cells at Work. No, I think it is the final one. For Hanibado next week, which I'm psyched, I'm hyped. It's gonna be a good time for everyody.
Yeah, it was a decent episode.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Yeah, got some demon Hanasaki.
Why do you play badminton? Because I love it. I hate you.
Mom's the devil, right? Mom's the actual devil.
I think so.
All right. But beyond that, I did watch the rest of. And I think there's still another episode of this one. The rest of Asobase.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think of that new episode?
Holy shit, man. That show's just too fucking funny. The one where they had the damn robot. The English-speaking robot.
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. I thought I'd never stop laughing. That was amazing. She's just like, fuck you, bitch. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing. Holy crap. Yeah, that show's amazing. It's too funny. I've been telling a bunch of people about it, and I don't think anyone's actually going to watch it because...
Yeah, I keep telling people, and they're like, not taking me seriously.
It's so
good.
This
anime is hilarious.
It's so
You gotta watch it.
It's just so funny. I mean, it really does seem... It's the kind of thing... I mean, I think that's why we were, like, so immediately like, damn, we got to check this out, is because we saw the clip of it. It feels like the kind of thing that if you're just hearing it described, it's very hard to get across how fucking hilarious it is. Yeah, everybody in the world needs to watch Asobase.
That clip was good, but I don't even know that I'd put it. I might put it on the low tier highlights of the show.
It's maybe like
because there are some really
it's low top 10.
Yeah,
it's top 10. But
there are some really funny points.
God, it's so good.
A new episode where they're trying to. Oh my god, dude! The girl's makeup, man.
Oh,
when she took it off,
the freaking makeup was outrageous.
Her eyes were just like little bitty tiny ovals.
Yeah. But then, like, when her makeup's on, she's got like the big eyelashes, the huge eyes with fucking stars in them.
Yeah,
she looks like a Steven Universe character. It's amazing.
It's hilarious.
It's outrageous, man. That show's so damn good, and the little like references and shit they throw into like other animes and stuff. It's really good. It's just really funny. I can't get enough of it. It's just absolutely
I think we got one more
incredible.
episode left of it. I'm pretty excited for
man.
it.
But that's about all I've been through. What have you been watching, my guy?
I watched pretty much all the same things. I hit my Hero Academia, Fooly Cooly Progressive, Asabi Asabase. I started Chio's School Road, I think is what it's called.
What the
Let me
fuck
make
is
sure
that?
that's right. That might not be right. Chio's School Road. That's right. It's kind of like it's broken into two sections so far in the episodes that I've seen. And it's about this girl, Chio, and the hijinks that happens to her every single day that she's going to school. So that's every episode is her going to school and trying not to be late. And it's got some pretty good laughs in it.
It's just on the way to school. You don't like the episode ends when she gets to school.
Yep, pretty much.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I like it a lot. And then did I watch anything else? I think that's it. I caught up on all my stuff. And
you haven't jumped back on that how to not to summon a demon lord?
No, I haven't.
A friend of mine at work said he just finished it, and I was like, I can't. And he's like, it's pretty good. I'm like, I don't believe you. You sound like he's into that weird shit.
Yeah. I saw somebody post a picture online of it or whatever. Maybe it was a video, and they were looking at the characters. The girl that's like an elf or whatever, she's like 15 years old.
Jesus Christ.
But so they're like, oh god. So they Google elf years or whatever, and it's like 10 years to the 1 year. So it made her 150 years old. Thank God.
Oh, okay. Okay, you were like I thought you said elf ears, and I was like, wait, you're talking about years, like dog years. Okay, well that's still
and they look for cat people too. They did the same thing.
Okay,
she was like 14, and they it was
okay, but
yes, it's supposed to be funny. I don't think that's how it is, but the point of the video was they made themselves feel better by looking at it. By
saying, oh no, she's actually like 150 instead of 15 or whatever. All right, shitty, dumb, really dumb, and really shitty.
Kind of clever,
really
though.
Shitty and dumb. Dumb and shitty and
little
dumb,
clever
and shitty and dumb. Yeah. I mean, that's like the same fucking thing as like in any other show where like, oh, here's the vampire girl. She looks 12, but she's actually like 200. It's like, fuck you. You're a pedophile. Like, good God. All right. Well, you got anything else to talk about?
I think that's it. Oh, I will say, stay tuned if you follow the Good Buddies Universe Facebook page or the Anime Friends page. I'll be making an announcement soon. I believe that...
we need to talk about that,
yeah. We'll talk about it after the podcast, but I'm pretty sure that I will be there on Wednesday. Wednesday at the Hewitt Theater. What's that one? Used to be called the...
Used to be Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood.
And now it's like
I don't know what it is now. Yeah, it's like the Cinema Royale or Cinema
like
Jewel something.
Royale.
Anyway, it's Wednesday at 7:30.
You may call me Royale.
We're gonna go see the My Hero Academia movie, and
that's the current plan.
Yeah, that's the current plan for now. If it changes, I'll post it on the things. But if any good buddies are in the area and they'd like to come out, Wednesday at 7:30 at that theater in Hewitt.
That's the plan.
My Hero Academia.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah. All right, so let's start breaking down what we're here to do.
Break it down.
Hina-matsuri, episode 9.
Episode 9.
Life is about survival.
This one was kind of a fucking toughie. But it starts with K, which I think I'm supposed to call her Ikaruga, because that's like her last name, right? But the one who was trying to take Hina back to the wherever,
right.
And she lost her orb thing, so she needs a new orb delivered. She sent a message to someone called Mao, and then we see on a beach a coconut fall out of a tree, hit an orb on the back of one of these metal eggs. Redhead girl pops out of it. The 2 orbs we see fly into the ocean and wash away. And she gets up. She's like, "Is this Japan?" And it zooms out to show she's on a very large, like, jungle, very small,
very
should say,
distant island,
a jungle island kind of thing. Yeah. Searches for the orbs. Of course, like all these first scenes start with her like completely nude, but like strategic covering and stuff. Mm-hmm. Or she's just far away. But searches for the orb, doesn't find them. I made a point of this. There's a bit where she's just like on the beach, sitting down, again nude, and I'm like, yo, I go to the beach, I got swim trunks on, I'm still getting sand all up on my butt. You know it's everywhere.
Can't be good, dude.
You know it's everywhere.
Can't be good. Sand in the Wagyu, dude. Can't be good.
Bro, girl, that's in your coochie. You got sand. Come on now.
Sit on a leaf. I know they got big leaves on that island.
We see her with a big leaf later. You could have found a log or something. That's a bummer. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if they thought about that when they made this episode, but ain't nobody sitting down straight up nude on the beach.
I don't think they thought that anybody would think about it.
I think anyone who's ever been to the beach would see someone on the beach sitting completely nude and say, "Hey man, that's a bad time."
I guess I didn't. I've never sat nude on the beach, bro.
When's the last time you went to the beach?
Oh God!
Even with trunks on, it's getting everywhere.
I think the last time I went to the beach was a while ago, huh? Yeah, about 5 years ago.
I'm telling you, man, can't be fucking with sand. Anyway, but yeah, she's sitting there, kind of bummed. Then we see her. This is pretty rad. Just goes over, stands on a big rock, looking over the ocean. Just uses her psychic powers. Whoomp, pulls out a bunch of fish. Like, oh yeah. Skewers them fuckers up. Starts a fire and cooks them up. And it's looking pretty nice. But yeah, she's thinking to herself. She's lamenting the failing her mission and feels. And she's also feeling very lonely. So what she does is, Castaway Wilson style, grabs her a couple coconuts, puts faces and hair on them, blue and blonde hair on them, and makes them into little Hina and Anzus, because she's missing her buddies Hina and Anzu, or she at least knows them. And she very often, like, throughout the rest of this, like, portion of the episode, she'll use her powers to, like, make this one shake a little bit and, like, do the voice, which is fucking great. To keep from going crazy because she's all alone. We actually, throughout this episode, get shots of a tree that she's making marks in to show how many days she's been there. This is about 12 days in that she makes these little coconut dolls. The Anzu one, she's talking for it. It talks her into making a vacation out of this because she's, on a nice island and whatnot. And Hina just goes, "Feed me," which is pretty great. Makes herself a leaf and grass dress, makes herself a hut, and floats the coconuts behind her. They're just falling around. 18 days in, she's having some fun on the beach, splashing in the water with her coconut friends. 21 days in, chased down by the coconuts. She's like, haha, chase me. It's great. She's literally just pretending they're people and playing with them because there's no one else on this fucking island.
What was that damn movie?
Castaway?
Yeah, Castaway.
Yeah, I already said that.
Oh, okay.
You never
Sorry.
pay attention, you son of a bitch. No.
I was trying to. I had this word in my head that was on one of Hina's shirts, Kashira. Oh yeah. So I was trying to figure out what it meant. So I took it to a translator.
What's it mean?
It doesn't translate.
Kashira. Was it on? Did you using Google?
Mm-hmm.
I used Google for most of those, and I found them. One of them, it was like one of the last one of the ones I remember her seeing. It was like Sabo or something. I don't remember. But it just means like too cool or whatever. And you can actually buy that sweater. And I might do it.
You might do it.
I might. Anyway. But yeah, 25 days later, so on, 198 days finally. Her hair is longer. Even has the coconut dolls have little bodies now. And at this point, she talks about how it's not a vacation, it's survival. And Anzu, the Anzu doll, she actually has them like walking now behind her with their little grass bodies that she made them. The Anzu doll says to her, "What do you mean? You're not alone. We're right here with you." And because she was talking about how she's tired of being alone. And as she says that, because she's the one saying it, obviously, not the Anzu doll, tears run down her face. And the Anzu doll says, "You have us." And then she screams, freaks out, grabs the dolls by their coconut heads, runs through the forest up to a big rock, and says, "You're not Hina and Anzu, you're just coconuts," and flings them off of this rock.
Yeah, she hooks her coconut friends.
She hucked them coconuts. She hucked a nut. Sometimes, gotta huck a nut.
Sometimes you gotta huck a nut.
Huck a nut. All right. Morning comes. She's built a raft. She's standing on it. She floats away, and she says to herself, "I miss people." And we then see a zoom out of the map. It doesn't have anything marked on it, but it's pretty clearly like she's moving toward, like into the Gulf of Thailand, like going that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that part of the episode. Next part, we see Nita and Sabu, who are picking up a dude from prison named Naito. They called him Naito the Slayer. This dude apparently fought off 4 gunmen with a sword. Gave Nita his scar when he bashed him with an ashtray. Yeah, and dude's real scary. They pick him up. He says, "Hey, I want to go straight to the boss." He wants to go straight to the boss because he's heard that the old man is sick. He's apparently in a coma right now, and he has yet to name an heir. We actually see a brief scene where we see a flashback of Nita and Hina talking to the boss, the old guy, and Hina told him he smelled weird and he couldn't take it, freaked out, and that's what put him into a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And Nita says something like, "You got to be careful when you talk about old people smell," or something like that.
Yeah,
it was pretty great.
It's pretty straightforward like that in the dub.
Yeah. Chief, the big guy, they call him the lieutenant for this one. They called him Chief in an earlier episode, but they call him lieutenant throughout this one. Is apparently supposed to be next in line. He's talking to Nita about it, and he says he needs to get some support. And he says something like, "I know I basically just made you a hired gun a few times." And Nita's like, "What do you mean basically? That's literally exactly what happened." But he says to Nita, "I just was trying to get you to grow a pair." And Nita says, "You know what? I'll help. I want to make sure that you're the next in line." And to which I wrote this down because it was funny to me. The lieutenant says, "Well, you have a throbbing pair now."
Yeah, he
a
said
big throbbing pair.
In the English one, he said, "You have the biggest, hairiest nuts."
It's pretty great.
Yeah, Nita was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, in this one he says something like, "That's not cool."
Yeah,
something
in
like
English
that.
he says, "Thank you."
Yeah,
like questions it. Yeah,
But,
he says he has big hairy balls or something like that. He has the
pretty
biggest,
great.
hairiest balls.
We then see Nita trying to convince Naito, because that's Naito's whole thing is he served time for this organization. He thinks he should be next in line, and he's trying to talk to him about Lieutenant becoming the next boss. Naito's not having any of it. He grabs an ashtray. Nita immediately falls down on his hands and knees and begs him. He says, "I don't want the boss to wake up to all this chaos. Just let this go so that he can at least pass in peace," or something like that, he says.
Mm-hmm.
And Naito drops the ashtray. He listens to reason. He's actually impressed by Nita, although he does make a joke about him taking the do no evil thing a bit far, which is pretty good. We see Boss wake up. Him and Nita and Hina are there talking, and Sabu's there with them. And Hina's asking about what does it mean to be next in line? Does that mean this person wins? And the boss says, no, it means that they'll take over and they'll be the next old guy. And Hina says, "Oh, I want it to be Nita then. He's already old. It would get confusing if there was another old guy," or something like that.
Yeah.
And the boss is like, "You know what? I agree. Nita, you're next." And he's like, "What?" And Sabu, of course, is freaked out, and immediately just shoots a text over to the lieutenant because, you know, he feels like he should know about this. And then, of course, Nita talks him out of it. He says, "Listen, look, no. There's no way we can do that. You're just trying to, you know, quit acting like a grandpa to Hina. You're just trying to be nice to her. We can't do that. You need to make sure the lieutenant is next in line." And the boss is like, "Yeah, you're right. I just said that I just said that to be fun," or whatever. And then Sabu gets a text back saying, "What the hell's going on? Tell me." From the lieutenant, and he's too cowardly and craven to actually confess that, oh, it was a false alarm.
Yeah.
What he does instead is he slinks off to the bathroom and says something like, oh, I left the room. I don't know what happened next, or something like that. And it's like, dude, oh no. We then see the lieutenant and Naito who are sitting in the office, and they're both pissed. They think that Nita has used Hina in order to get the boss to make him the next in line to run the thing, and they're mad. They're very mad. They want him dead. So then Nita wakes up in an oil drum with just his head poking out of some hardened cement.
Yep.
It's like, fool,
he's about to get whacked, dude.
How hard did they have to drug this fool that he didn't wake up during that? Because he seems to be perfectly fine otherwise. But, yeah, the lieutenant, Naito, they're both there. So are a bunch of other Yakuza guys. They're all, like, you know, cracking their knuckles and getting ready to just take this dude out. They're down at, like, some warehouse down by the docks or whatever. They're apparently just going to huck this oil drum with full of him and cement just into the water and let him go. It's fucked. It's pretty bad. And he's freaked out. They're saying, yeah, you used your kid to get the boss on your side. And he's like, what? No, that's not true. Sabu, tell him what happened. Sabu, tell him what happened. Tell him what happened. And Sabu just honks.
Yeah. He has like sparkly honk, dude.
That's a thing they do a lot in anime. Have you seen that?
I guess I never noticed it.
That happens fairly. I remember watching a few other shows and like being like, man, they really. I think it's maybe there's one of two explanations. One, puke and vomit is gross, and they're trying to make it slightly less gross by making it all sparkly. Because when they do it, it's like you just see water. It's like ding 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 ding, like little sparkles coming off of it. The other explanation is they're just extra freaky, and that's fun to them. I don't think it's that one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I would hope not.
But he had sparkly honk, dude.
He did have sparkly vomit. It was pretty sick. Sorry to all the emetophobes out there who are not into puke. All right. But yeah, Nita's explaining. He says, no. The boss made him boss on a whim. Named me the successor on a whim. But I talked him out of it, and neither of them believe him. Boss rolls up in his wheelchair and says, no, yeah, I named him successor on a whim, and he talked me out of it. You're next in line, Lieutenant. And both of them are like, oh, shit. Oh, geez, we really donked this one up. And they're like apologizing to Nita, who's just in this he's just neck deep in cement, and he's just staring at him like, God damn it. And then they're like, no, I'll tell you what. The lieutenant's like, okay. I'll tell you what. What we'll do is I'll make you the next lieutenant. I mean, this guy, you were second lieutenant, right? You don't care, right? We can make Nita lieutenant. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, yeah, you're the lieutenant. Everybody, lieutenant. And they're like clapping, and they're so like, it's a celebration shit. They're all surrounding this fucking barrel, and you just see him sitting in the thing going like, get me the fuck out of here.
As you would if you're covered in concrete in a barrel.
Like, God, that had to be painful as fuck to get out of, though, because that was hard in concrete. They would have had to chisel his ass out like the fucking statue of David. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was a bummer. So, yeah, next bit, we see they're at the bar. We see, this is the next bit of the episode. We see Hina at the bar talking to Hitomi about him, about Nita getting a promotion. And she wants to do something to like celebrate or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Utako says, oh, well, you should have a promotion party. And she doesn't know what to do for him. She asks a bunch of people. She asks at school. She asks Nita's sister, asks a bunch of people, even talks to Sabu. And in the end, she decides to just go with everybody's ideas. And what she ends up doing is she's going to get a picture with his frame, a picture of him, a framed picture of him. Mm-hmm. She's going to get a cake, his favorite food, and something else. Like, it's going to be a big party at the house. And booze. That's what his sister wanted. which is pretty great. She said, I liked her line. I didn't write it down, but it was something like, I always like to celebrate with booze. That's my favorite. And Hina says something like, but you're always drinking. Yeah, every day's a celebration. I'm like, hell fucking yeah, it is, girl. I like her. But, so yeah, what she ends up doing, she decides to try all of it. She gets a frame. She goes through the copy store. The first thing she does is that morning, as Nita's leaving, she goes, smile, like, as he's walking out. And he's like, what? And she takes a picture of him. And he, and she says, hey, make sure to buzz in before you come in when you get home tonight. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I want to do something special. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. And he leaves. So she gets a picture frame. She gets a picture blown up and put in the frame, apparently. Gets some nice flowers. She's at the liquor store, and the dude's like, I can't sell to a minor. Okay. I thought that was good.
Why didn't you just go to a Choco's bar?
That would have made sense.
Yeah.
She probably would have, maybe. Well, it was during the daytime. When's the bar open?
I don't know. I guess I don't know what time the little song opens.
I feel like it's a late night establishment. I mean, they're open all damn night because Hitomi leaves and like the sun's coming up. Yeah, it seems like a
lot of times Hitomi's going right after school though too.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Who knows, man?
I don't know, man. More on that next episode. But yeah, she also can't afford a cake because she spent too much money on everything else. So she gets home, does find empty liquor bottles in the cabinet. Namahage liquor. What's up with Namahages in this show, dude? Like, it's everywhere. It's constantly like, Namahage this, Namahage that. The kids are always learning about Namahages, etc., etc.
I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't even read it. Didn't
even notice?
Yeah,
it's Namahage everything. Like, I got 8 more instances of Namahage in these next few episodes, but we'll get to that. But yeah, she finds some empty liquor bottles, Namahage liquor bottles, fills them with water, makes a cake out of salt because she doesn't have any. She like just takes a bowl, pours a bunch of salt in it, and like makes it look like, bunches up the salt so it looks like little strawberries around the top of the cake or whatever. This is amazing. And she's like, well, what's his favorite food? And she goes into the refrigerator, finds her Ikura bowl, the rewards for Hina, and says, well, nobody hates Ikura. So she takes it. She says, I don't want to give him too much. So she just puts a few on a plate.
Yeah, it looks like beads.
It looks like beads. It looks like a little bracelet. And then Nita comes home to what appears to be a funeral shrine. There is the salt cake is just like salt, which I mean you would have like because it wards off evil spirits. You have the picture of Nita on a little table right next to that, and the picture of him, he's like got one hand up. He's like, what? Like he's completely caught off guard in the picture because that's how it was when she took it.
The flowers are laying right next to it.
The flowers are right next to it. The Ikura looks like a little like prayer bracelet of beads, a bead roll, and behind it she has a series of boxes that look an awful lot like a coffin. And he's just like, what? I'm dead? And he's very freaked out. He's like, wait, where's Hina? And then out of one of the boxes, Hina very, very slowly rises out and then drops her arms to the side and then turns to him and goes, boo. And it's like, okay.
She's very happy, too.
She's very happy. Nita's just freaked out. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's very, very confused and more than a little freaked out because it sure as hell looks like he's, dead. And she reads this on his face and she kind of looks down realizing, oh, maybe I fucked up. And she goes, congratulations on your promotion to lieutenant. And Nita just smiles at her and goes, thanks. And that was it. It was real. It was so goofy, but I like that episode a lot. I like that a little bit. And we're on to episode 10.
Episode 10, like a river stream.
Yeah, man. This one hurt my heart after I worked 19 fucking days in a row without a day off. I finally got a day off this week, guys. Woo! I couldn't believe it. That was before my birthday.
Boy.
This is a hell of a week, man. I worked like damn near 3 weeks without a day off, and then my TV stopped working. I had to get a new TV, and then it was my birthday, and I had to work 10 hours on birthday. You know what? I don't need to drop this shit on y'all. But damn, it was some shit. All right. Anyway,
Birthday
this one,
boy got a new TV.
I did get a new TV. That was nice. On credit. I told him I wanted to get it on credit so I could just pay it off. I told him I didn't want a big credit limit because I will be tempted to spend. And they were like, all right, you were instantly approved. For how much? I didn't need that much. He goes, $4,000. I'm like, you fucking dick.
I'm telling you, just break the card.
I'm gonna end up buying a Switch and a PlayStation
Just
Pro.
break the card, dude.
I might. I probably should. Anyway.
Just break that bitch.
They know I'm bad with money, but I got good credit. How's that happen? Anyway, episode 10. Hitomi. She comes home late, and she's like, "Oh, thank goodness, no one's up." And then she is confronted, dun by her mother. Her mother, who looks exactly like her. Like they look the same age.
Yeah.
She's actually shorter than Hitomi. It's fairly shocking. But yeah, she looks like a middle school kid. Because that's how you draw ladies in animes. Anyway, mom thinks Hitomi's up to something. Hitomi lies at first, but then tells the truth. Says that the truth is, I've been working late nights at a bar. Mom still doesn't believe her, and then thinks, wait, are you doing something deprived? Like, what's going on? It's like, and Hitomi's just like, Mom. And then we cut to credits, which again, Taco's still not in the credits. She's in the scenes where Nita's not there, but specifically like that last scene.
Yeah,
she is not there. You
scene
watched
in her own bar, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the end credits. She's not in those.
Yeah. Oh, in the first one, in the opening credits, yeah, she's not in the very.
She's not
end.
in the end when Hina's walking toward. It used to be Hina walking toward her and Nita. And now she's just gone. It's funny. It's pretty cool. It's a great continuity. There's also a really great one at the end of, I think, episode 11, where the credits are different. Did you notice that one?
No, I didn't.
We'll get to it. But
I think I skipped the credits for most of them.
Yeah. Sometimes they're fun. But anyway, at the bar, Hitomi can't stand being at home. She showed Mom her bank account to prove that she had a job, but she says, Mom thought I was just selling myself. I don't even know what that means. And Taco and Nita are both like, yeah. It's like, Jesus, this is fucked. Like, everyone thinks she's a hooker.
Yeah.
The kids thought she was a prostitute. It's like, Jesus. Your own mama, girl. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. This poor girl. I really felt for her on this one because she ends up getting a lot of work here. Anyway, but yeah, Taco says, hey, I mean, listen, I left home a lot when I was a kid. You've actually got money. You should just leave home. You should just get out there and get your own place and blah, blah, blah. And Nita says, hey, that's crazy. What are you telling this kid? And Taco looks at him and says, I can't go back to the days without the revenue that Hitomi brings in. And he's like, you really, his exact words, he looks at her, he says, why was I in love with her again?
Yeah. Yeah, and then she says something very similar. He's like, I can't believe I fell for this woman at one point.
Yeah. Hitomi decides, yes, she will in fact leave home. And then, but she's like, but where will I go? And Itaka says, you leave that to me. Nita, of course, part of his Yakuza organization is that he's got all these, he's like a, what do you call, what's the word I'm looking for?
Real estate?
Real estate, yes. He does real estate and shit with apartments and all that junk. And he has this incredible fancy ass apartment. Swanky as all fuck. Fully furnished, fucking flat screen TV, fancy couches, windows across the whole. It's a corner apartment. $300,000 it costs, but he says, obviously we can help you out. We can give you a half price, $150. Don't even worry about the key fees and all this other shit.
So it's $150, right?
Well, it was $300. Tell me $300,000 first.
$300,000.
This guy's over here clickety clack and using his that
calculator. Is god damn, that's $2,665 a month.
That's outrageous. And then half that is still like 13 something.
Yeah.
Gee, but that's still a lot. But homegirl is making all the money.
Yeah, $1,332.50.
Outrageous. Still making a lot of money though. And they
I wonder if that's all bills paid. Surely it's all bills paid.
It has to be. But yeah, all that, and she's like, I can't afford that. And Atako says, no, you have to get out of the house. You really want to go back to your parents' house? You're not going to find a place anywhere near this for cheap. And it's also the cheapest one that Nita has because he's a freaking Yakuza and we only deal in fancy shits, the expensive shits. And that's the cheapest he can get her. And Utako literally just forces her to sign the lease, to which Nita responds, she just strong-armed a friend, dirtier than any Yakuza. Which is pretty great. So then, the next scene we see Hitomi at the bar, mixing up a drink and whatnot, tells one of the customers at the bar her troubles, and he says, well, I mean, if it's that bad and you need money, I could offer you a job. And she's like, yeah? And he's like, yeah. And then we smash cut to her on one of those, like, cleaning the windows of a big-ass skyscraper. She's, like, on one of those, like, moving rack things.
The scaffolding.
Scaffolding, yeah, that goes up and down the thing on the ropes. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Couldn't deal with that shit.
What a horrible job. She clean the dookie water.
Yeah, she is absolutely terrified. But she does the job so well because she's so terrified. She's like, she's got to get through. She's got to do it. And she just starts cleaning. She gets it done so quick with this other guy who's up there. It's amazing. Then back at the bar, more patrons are offering her more jobs because they keep hearing about how good she's doing at all her other jobs. So we see her working a job as a waitress, and then a ticket taker at some kind of concert, and then handing out drinks and refreshments at the stadium, and then working on the road at like with a vest and everything, you know, the reflective vest and shit. And it then ends up. This is a kind of a scene that doesn't go very far, but it gives you a little bit of info about what's going on with other characters. Wearing a costume in some kind of kids show opposite the boys from the band, Atsuki and the bassist, I think, who was like, look in her eyes, man, that guy. Mm-hmm. Or was that was a guitar player. Bassist was the other guy. But she actually recognizes him, and they have a brief discussion about like, well, wait, what are you guys doing here? They're like, we're saving up so we can go to America. We're working, we want to go take magic lessons or some shit. And I'm like, okay, we'll find out more about that later. But she ends up, she's like playing the monster in this goofy kid show, and Atsushi is like the hero. So out on stage, he just kicks the shit out of her and then stomps on her big, and she's literally just like a giant teddy bear, but she's the monster. He just kicks her real hard. She falls over. He puts his puts his foot on top of her head, all triumphant. Is like, he says "booyah" in the subtitle. I don't know if that's a.
He says "booyah" a lot in the English.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like
booyah,
the proper translation or whatever what he said, but I mean it must be. It's pretty great. So then she also ends up working in an office, working real hard in this office and apparently doing a decent job. But in the bathroom of the office, she does overhear some of the other women in the office bad talking her, talking about how she's doing so much work even though she's a temp who she's trying to impress. Yeah, and she looks so fresh faced, blah blah blah. It's like real jailbait or something like that. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. It's pretty these catty bitches. It's pretty bummering. Bum me out a little bit. Talking bad about my good buddy Hitomi. But yeah, at school she actually is sitting in class next to Hina. Hina's of course completely asleep because she always is. And Hitomi's dozing off too. And the boys, Takashi and Kengo, they're asking if she's okay because that never happens. And one of them says, playing too many video games. She's like, yeah, that's what you guys do. I'm too busy working, kids. And then one of the other, she overhears some of the girls in class talking about this show that they were watching, and I can't believe that kind of stuff happens in the office. And she's like, that's so cute. Games, office work isn't really like that, and blah blah blah. It's like, girl, you're in middle school. You need to chill.
Hey man, she works hard for the money.
She works too hard.
Hard for the money.
I feel her pain after all my working. But damn it, girl, you need a break. But yeah, she doesn't want to admit she's working too much, and she just doesn't say anything to anybody about it. At the office, she makes some coffees and gets her boss, I wrote down, at least higher up on the same floor as her, some snacks that she had heard this person mentioned. Which, by the way, okay, here's another fucking instance. We see what what this person is typing as Hitomi walks up, and it's literally just the word namahage, 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 namahage over and over and over again. Like no joke.
Yeah.
What's really going on here? Hitomi asks, her name is Asagiri. Asked her questions about some paperwork that she had her make copies on, and she says, let's take a break, I'll tell you about it. And they go on break, and Asagiri's having a smoke break while Hitomi's just standing there, and she tells her, most girls, when they get bullied by the others here, they either just suck it up or they end up leaving. But you seem like the type who's going to move up in the ranks. Yeah. You're doing pretty good here. And she's being like real cool about it, and she puts out her cigarette, throws it away, and is like, see you out there, kid. And she walks out, and Hitomi's just like, she didn't answer any of my questions. Which is pretty great. Hitomi gets some food on her way home, gets a phone call from her mom as she's walking home, and just kind of blows her off like, Mom, I gotta get to bed. And Mom's like, where are you? What's going on? Don't worry about it. I'm going home. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk. Bye. And just blows her off. And then she walks in to her apartment, steps inside, collapses. And then she wakes up later, freaks out because her clothes are all wrinkled, freaks out because she didn't even put her food in the fridge and it's all spoiled, and then freaks out because she's about to be late to her next job, and she's just like, oh, what am I going to do? And then she realizes she's just weeping. She didn't even notice until right then, but she realizes, why am I crying? Tell you why, crying, you overworked. I've been there. It was a bummer, man. It was too real.
Yeah, I can't find anything on the internet as to what the relationship is with
the Namahage.
Yeah, and the hina-matsuri. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some answers. But whatever. I think it's weird that keeps happening. But anyway, and she's sitting there on the floor in her wrinkled clothes from yesterday, having just woken up on the floor, and she realizes she's crying. She says, "Why am I crying so much? Why can't I say no?" And then at the bar, she's mixing up a drink and just really depressed. And Taco and some other patrons say, "Hey, we want to throw you a housewarming party at your place. Come on, let's. You got to be settled in by now." She's like, "No, I'm not at all." And she doesn't want to deal with it. She doesn't want to deal with anything. She's like going through the shit, man. And as she's going home that night, she's actually crying, and she says she wants to be a normal girl again. She wants to go home, and she decides, I know, I'll invite my mom to the party. She'll see that, like, I was telling the truth and everything. She'll freak out, and I'll be released. And she actually falls down and, like, screams to the heavens that she'll finally be free, and she'll be released, she says. You still looking that up, man?
Yep, I can't find it.
Well, don't worry about it.
I give up.
I just think it's funny that everything's Namahage related, and that's all the teachers ever talk about. It's weird. Anyway. So she does this plan. We see the party. All these businessmen are there. These bosses from these companies she's been working for. Utako and Nita are there, and Mom is there, standing there while this is going on. And we see Hitomi turn around and say, "Oh, Mom, you made it!" And Mom's freaked out, and all the business dudes hear, "Oh, Mom," and they get up and go over to her like, "Oh man, Hitomi's such a hard worker. Oh wow, blah blah blah. Like she's so great." And they're all giving her their cards and stuff, saying, "This is who I am," blah blah blah. And she's like, "How did she make all these connections? What's going on?" She can't believe it. But like, there it is, the proof. And she's like, wow, she's got all these jobs and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, Mom's gonna freak out. She's gonna tell him I'm in middle school. It's gonna be great. Does not happen. Plan completely backfires. Mom is like, no, this is amazing. I wish I had these connections. That was the plan, right? You work at the bar, you make all these connections, and then you get a job with whoever's gonna pay you the most, right? That's brilliant, man. You really are a smart girl. And that's it. And like, everybody's like cheersing her, and she's like, yeah, cheers. And like, she's clearly depressed and stuff, but no one, she's the only one in this scene not smiling. Well, her and Nita are the only ones in this scene not smiling, because Nita sees what's going on, and yeah, it's a real bummer. And then the last thing we see here is she is standing at the window after everyone's gone. She's in a bathrobe, just got out of the shower or something, and she's sipping a cup of tea. And she says to herself, what exactly was I trying to accomplish? Scene. That's it. There like wasn't any big like.
Yeah.
She didn't get saved. She's still like, you know, going
Still got that swanky ass apartment.
Does have a swanky ass apartment. I mean, if I want a swanky ass apartment, I mean, it's just kind of a bummer. This kid doesn't get to have a childhood now. But whatever. It's a cartoon. I can't be too depressed about it. It's a cartoon. I'm already sad about all the other cartoons. Can't be getting sad at this one again. Speaking of which, next part of this one is on Anzu. Anzu is given an allowance by mom and pop, as she calls them, and she's amazed by this incredible fortune, a whole 5,000 yen. How much is that?
That is $45.
That sounds about right. Is it really?
I think so.
All right, do the math. That sounds right. But yeah, she's amazed by this incredible fortune that's been bestowed upon her. Shows it off to Hitomi, and Hitomi's like, she's like, isn't it incredible? And Hitomi's like, isn't what? She's like, what?
It is $40, $39.98.
Wow, not quite $40.
Oh wait, you said 50,000, right?
Yeah, 5,000.
5,000.
5,000.
That's what I'm gonna say. 5,000. Okay, so it's $44.42.
Okay,
so it's close to 45.
Okay, close to 45. Great job, dude. But yeah, Hitomi like realizes, oh, she's impressed by that much money, and Hitomi's like, yeah, oh man, that is incredible. She's like pretending, and she says, well, what are you gonna do with it? And she's like, well, I don't know. So Hitomi takes her to all these different places to like see, hey, what do you want to try this? You want to try that? Takes her to the bowling alley. Well, I mean, so I'm throwing balls at some pin. Couldn't I just like stack up some balls in the park and throw rocks at them or something? She's like, yeah, I guess you fucking could, Anzu. And she says, well, how about karaoke? Takes you to the karaoke place. Well, I mean, I could just sing in the shower. I don't. Okay. Well, how about...
Anzu's cheap. She don't want to spend that money.
Don't want to spend that money. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
No.
Save it up if you can. But, I mean, Mama always said your money ain't worth nothing if you don't spend it. Anyway. Takes her to a fancy coffee place, which is clearly a fake Starbucks. And tells her, well, I mean, I could just drink water at the park. It's like, okay, Anzu. I love you, but okay. But yeah, she basically just has a free version of everything that she would rather do. She also can't find any clothes she likes either, but she does see someone at this clothing store that Anzu takes her to, and she sees these people buying a present. And she says, well, is that how they pack stuff up here? She says, oh, no. And Hitomi tells her, oh, that's a present. You give it to someone that you care about, who you're thankful for, and it's a sign of appreciation. She says, I know what I want to do. And they end up in this some kind of department store, and she wants to buy something for mom and pop. And it's for their stiff shoulders. She wants to get some kind of, it looks like a shawl that goes around your shoulders and your neck and like hangs down. And I guess it vibrates or something because it's supposed to help with your stiff shoulders. It says like 3 different places on the boxes. Goodbye to stiff shoulders. Sayonara stiff shoulders. Great for stiff shoulders. Like over and over again. And they're always talking about how stiff their shoulders are and their necks hurt and all that. So she wants to get this for them. But she is a little bit short on money. It's like, I think it's like 5,500 or something. She's got 5,000, so she's just short. And Hitomi is moved by this beautiful notion she's putting forward that she wants to use the money to get something for mom and pop. And she offers to chip in, but then Sabu happens to be passing by. He butts in and says, "No. I overheard all this. A present that is bought with someone else's money has no soul." And Anzu says, well, what am I supposed to do then? I don't have enough. And he says, well, if you don't have enough money, he's got to make some more. And it seems like he's going to have some great plan, some brilliant, great thing to help him out. He takes him straight to the horse races.
We're gambling, folks.
It's not good. Not good for you.
Teach your kids to gamble.
Hey, man, I've told you. I can't fuck with gambling. This is not a good place for me. I would end up doing exactly what Anzu ends up doing.
Blowing it all?
Just blowing it all. So she ends up doing... You gotta
risk it for the biscuit, dude.
Absolutely not. What she ends up doing is... he takes him to the horse races. Hitomi is livid, and she says, she thinks to herself, why is it that is there any adult I can that's trustworthy that I can believe in? And she imagines everyone. She says, she imagines, who was it? It was Nita, Utako, I think her mom, and Matsutani, the teacher. And she says, no, none of them. I can't believe in any of these people. And every one of them are just like on different sides of her head. All of them going, with their little wiggly tongues looking all shocked and shit. It's pretty funny. They do the wiggly tongue a lot, and it's great. So Hitomi tries to stop her, but Anzu has already made her decision. She bets. And she goes for the horse with the worst rating, 90 to 1's on. I think she only puts like 50 on it or something. I don't remember. But however much she puts on it, or maybe it was 500. I think it was 500. Wait, hang on. Let me do math. Dead air song. Yes, dead air song. You sing the dead air song. Oh, there's no dead air.
Brandon's figuring this out.
Yes, the dead air song.
I'm
she puts 500 yen on the worst rated horse. And what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I've been kind of quiet this episode because I've been taking muscle relaxers.
For your slip disc.
Yeah. I have
our boy has a slip disc. Everybody,
I have a compressed disc in my back. It's hurty, so they gave me some muscle relaxers.
It's making him not feel. Yeah, it's making him feel not good.
I take them and I just kind of zone there. I feel comfortable in a zone there.
A little high.
I don't think I'm high. I feel okay.
You got a good chill going. Is what you got.
I could drive. Yeah, I'm very chill.
You're not high. You just got a good chill going.
It's got me calmed down.
How many muscle relaxers did they give you?
42.
All right, don't go crazy.
No, I'm not. Dude, I barely ever take medicine, so like most of the time I'm kind of.
I don't think you seem like you don't have an addicted personality. Me, however, not good.
My grandmother today, whenever I was talking to her, she was asking about it and what I got, and she was like, "Oh well, I have some more muscle relaxers at the house if you want."
I'll give you the good shit. You know she's got the good shit.
Yeah, and I was like, no. That bottle does not have my name on it.
All right, but
yeah. So I'm muscle relaxed out right now, guys.
It's pretty great.
Good buddies.
He's got a good calm going. You look high as shit right now. All right, but yeah, she ends up betting on this horse betting on this horse has the worst odds, 90 to 1 that she will win anything. That this guy's gonna win. And Sabu actually tells her, man, that guy's, he's got the worst rating though. There's like no chance, right? And she says, yeah, but that means if he wins that I get the most, that I get more money. And he's like, you sure are a real gambler. And what happens is during the race, the horse falls that's in first. Her horse ends up winning. She gets 4,500 yen. 45,000, excuse me. 45,000 yen, which is an awful lot of money. Sabu.
45,000 yen is right at $400.
Pretty good. Pretty real good. Sure as you could buy a bunch of those fucking vibrating things. You should go ahead and just cash out now. Nope. Sabu ends up talks her into pushing her luck. And they also, as they're sitting there, they see the hurt horse laying down there, and people coming to get it off the thing. And it's likely going to be put down. Some guys before her actually say, it looks like he's going to be horse sashimi now. It's a real bummer. They bet. Anzu loses several bets. They keep betting. Actually, you see Hitomi win a couple bets. Sabu keeps losing. And Anzu keeps losing. And she's down to her last 500 yen. She puts her last 500 yen on this one horse, like 6th rank horse. And she says, Sabu had mentioned before that because her cause was noble, the gods of horse racing will smile upon her, and that's why she won the money. She says, no, I see now that the gods of horse racing must have seen through me that I wanted more when I didn't need it. So now I'm sure that I'll win this one because it's the last I've got, and all I want to do is buy a present for Mom and Pop. And her horse is losing. She holds out her hand. She's like, I can use my powers. If I stop the horse that's in front, my horse can win. And then she thinks to herself, she remembers the guy behind her. It's kind of goofy the way they do it. It's kind of like in The Simpsons when they do the like, Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. But it's like Sabu going, you can win. And this guy behind her going, horse sashimi. You can win. Horse sashimi. Yeah. It's really great.
In English, they just say horse meat. So it's,
yeah.
You can win horse meat.
But then like the last time he says it just shows a plate of like what is clearly like horse sashimi or horse meat, I guess. Oh no. And in the end, she doesn't do it. She says, I didn't want you to become horse sashimi, so she doesn't do it. And then at a cafe later, she's crying while Sabu and Hitomi sit across from her that she can't afford any gifts. And Hitomi tells her, hey, what's the most important part of a gift? And she stops crying. And then we cut and we see Hitomi at home with Mom and Pop, who run the Chinese restaurant, Rai-Rai-Kin. And she says she gives them a stack of papers, these little coupons she made that say one free back rub, back massage, 10 minutes or something like that. And she gives them to him.
Awful long time to massage somebody's back for free. Awful long time.
You're weak. But you wish someone would massage your back with you fucking
No, dude, dicks. I hate massages. They hurt.
You ain't been touched dry, bro. I got these hands. Bro. Anyway. But she gives him these coupons. We cut back to the cafe, and Hitomi's telling her what really matters is showing your appreciation. And that's what's important. That you show that you really care about them and that you appreciate them. And so she gives them these shoulder massage coupons. They love it. It's great. And Pop cashes in one right then, and the episode ends with her like dunk, 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 like smacking on his back, giving him a back rub and stuff on his shoulders. And he's like, oh, this is great. When's the last time I had a back massage? It's really cute. Happy ending. I liked it. And that's episode 10. We're on episode 11. 2 left.
Episode 11. A man thirsty for blood, violence, and money.
This one was absolutely ridiculous.
I freaking love this episode.
Absolutely stupid, and I hated it, but it was pretty good. Okay. This one starts with Seta, a man who's working on some kind of TV documentary, and he wants to interview... he's working on a documentary about the Yakuza, and he wants to interview Nita, because apparently this guy's the talk of the town, and you actually see him talking to Nita for a bit, and Nita refuses at first, but then concedes when Seta says, hey man, you're the biggest face in Yakuza right now, and no matter what happens, you'll be a legend for sure. And Nita ends up giving in. So then we see, after the credits, Nita is driving, Hina's in the front seat, Seta and his cameraman are in the back seat. Hina has a broken leg here, so this is either she keeps breaking her leg or this is a time jump, and we're back.
I think it's previous and it's like before.
Yeah,
and then all the editing happens, and whenever he watches it at the end is current time.
I would think, because but like she also when they were actually like during the thing though, she also had the leg brace off for a bit, like when they were filming, when they were playing the video game, she didn't have the cast on then.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But that was like when they were shooting stuff. So yeah, this is like during all that. Yep. So like what we're saying. So what I'm to believe then is that if that's true, they're really playing Hellfire with the timeline here. Because if that's true, then while this filming was going on, while Hina had the cast on, then she got it off. There was the whole thing with her and Ikaruga Kei. And her like leaving and then coming back when it turns out she didn't have to leave, and then after all that they keep shooting and then the thing comes out. So like that whole Hina's gonna leave thing and her walking in on him partying was like during the filming. Then I don't know. They're really playing Hellfire.
Yeah, I think it was probably during, but I mean they probably weren't there every day.
I guess, but yeah, it was just kind of weird. If that's how it happened, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about everything, but I probably am, in fact. But you know what? I like this show. I don't really give a shit. It's not to be taken all that seriously. It's a good time. I do want to know what's up with the fucking Namahage thing. Anyway, yeah, she's got a broken leg. Seta and his guy are surprised that Nita is so ordinary. He's nice, even. They talk about, like, they try to get any information out of him. He doesn't say very much. Just like he just said like, why'd you join the Yakuza? And he's like, well, I mean, my old man died, and I ended up starting a small business and blah blah blah. We worked with the Yakuza a little bit, and I ended up figuring out that I could make more money if I worked with them than just doing the small business thing. And his whole thing was like, since his dad died, these were like, a family to him, because he didn't have any like male role models or anything. He ended up hooking up with these guys, and it was the loyalty and the honor and all that stuff. And he really liked it. He enjoyed it, and that's what he ended up doing. They asked Nita what did she do before she's died. Oh, and there's a bit where they're like, oh, so what's with your daughter? She's not my daughter. I am your daughter, not by choice. Which is pretty funny in context. Mm-hmm. Later on, out of context, it's absolutely ridiculous. But they ask her, well, what were you up to before you started staying with Nita? And she just says, I was following orders.
Yeah.
Which is ominous. But at home, she takes some of his food. She beats him at video games. They're playing what is clearly a fake Street Fighter, where he is playing F. Hamda and she is Byu, which is pretty great. And she beats the shit out of him, and he goes,
"You suck."
Well, okay. He says, "Massacred, dude," and she goes, "You suck, Nita," which is pretty great. But then Seta, he's sure, like, they're recording all this. They're seeing this normal ass guy just being a nice normal guy, feeding the kid and everything. She like takes food from him, and he doesn't even care. And he's sure
that extra meatball again.
Yeah, he's sure that that he's hiding his true nature, and he tries to he talks to the family, his mom and sister, and they tell him, what? I mean, you think he's gonna have some big stories? What, like he's a real tough guy. He learned karate from beating up other kids and stuff. He got to use those secret moves. Nah, man, that's not Nita. And he finally, at the office, he ends up staging a confrontation with Sabu, which is freaking amazing, because like, Sabu walks by and Nita's like, hey, did you get a gift for the old man? He's still in the hospital. And he goes, oh, I forgot. I'll go get one right now. It's like, yeah, make sure you do, you dummy. And like, that's it. And the dude's like, come on, like, you could have laid into that guy. Give him something. Come on. And he's like, well, he's a dumbass. Like, I mean, if I got mad at him every time, I'd always be mad. No, I mean, that's stupid. And he's like, you're gonna look weak on this show, man. Come on, do something. And Sabu comes up. He's like, no, he's right. I can't have you looking weak. You're my brother. And he hands him an ashtray. He's like, hit me with this. So he does. They redo the scene. He's like, did you get something for the old man? Oh. And he's like, clearly, he's like, oh, I forgot. I'll go right away. He's like, you dumbass. And he actually calls him, hang on, I wrote it down. He calls him a shit-sucking dimwit. And he smashes him with the freaking ashtray, knocks him down. He's like, you idiot, go get something right now. And clean up this mess. You got ashes everywhere. And like that kind of thing. He's like really laying into him. And then the dude who's doing this, who's supposed to be a real reporter and recording real shit, goes, and cut, perfect. Like, he's literally just directing a show now. And Nita immediately falls down. He's like, hey man, are you okay? And Sabu's like, you took it too far. He's like, oh shit, give me the emergency kit. Like, he's immediately taking care of this dude who has blood trickling down his face now. He's gonna have a scar just like Nita did from getting hit with an ashtray. It's great. Seta is floundering at this point. He actually has a confrontation with Nita, trying to get him angry at the bar, but Nita doesn't bite. He won't fall for it. He doesn't do it. And in the end, he ends up faking footage to get a good story. We see him
it's
like...
fake news, man.
It's fake news. It is, in fact, fake news. God damn it, Roger. We, in fact, see him like at home, and he looks into his kid's room and sees his kids laying there, and he's like, I got to do this, because he's got a family to feed. He wants to make a good story to make sure people see it and that's popular. So he fakes it, man. And we see a lot of cutting. We see people arguing with him about, like, hey, this isn't right. You're faking stuff. And he's like, no, I got to do this. I got to do it. And we see Nita and Hida sitting down to watch the broadcast. Everything's out of context and remixed. Makes him look like a real monster. We see those they use that clip of Hina saying I was just following orders, like completely out of context. Him calling her, saying that she's not his daughter. He's denying it and all this. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I think my favorite parts are they show the bit where he hits Sabu, and then they also show them talking about they say something to him like like they talk about how he is this new kind of Yakuza who doesn't have any honor or loyalty and stuff, and how he's like such a bad guy and he's a real monster and blah 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 blah. They only call him In and his face is blurred out. They say something about what would the other Yakuza do if they found out this or that or something, and they just show that clip of him playing the video game, but you don't see the video game, you just see him going massacre, dude. And then there's my other favorite is they say something about he doesn't have any respect for anyone at all, and the clip is him sitting at his desk, where the actual clip was him saying talking about Sabu, he's just a dumbass, I'm not gonna get mad at him every time. And the clip they show is him sitting there, and the voiceover says, what do you think of the president? He's just a dumbass. Like, it's absolutely amazing. It's all out of context and fucked up. It's great. The thing's over, and when it's over, Nita's just sitting there looking upset. He looks a little mad, and Hina just goes, who was that? Which was really great. Yeah,
and they made it very exciting in the English one. Like she's like, who was that?
Yeah. At work, he goes back into work. Boss and Naito are just giving him shit, reciting lines from the shows. Like, sorry, I'm such a dumbass.
They stayed up all night. They recorded it and stayed up all night memorizing the whole thing.
Yes, they did. In fact, they actually.
I thought that was pretty great.
To each other, and they're just giving him shit. And Nita freaks out, turns around, slams the door, and runs home crying.
Yeah,
which is really funny. Oh god, what was the line? In the end, he retreats back into the darkness, into a life of greed and filth, or something like that. And they tell him that it's like, well, you're gonna go back to the darkness, your life of greed and filth. And he's like, shut up! And he just runs away. It's so fucking funny. He gets home. He sees Hina playing video games instead of doing her homework, and she's like, he says, hey, don't you have homework to do? And she doesn't even turn around. She just goes, massacre, dude.
Yeah,
it's really good. And he's just out of it, man. And that's that one.
I love that episode.
That was really good. I really like this next one, actually. That was the first half. Second half, Anzu comes over to stay with Nita.
Oh yeah,
this is a really good one. Mom and Pop are out at the hot springs. Hina is at Namahage ski camp.
Yeah, she's learning how to ski
at the Namahage ski camp.
Zigging, zagging.
Pizza and French fries
at the Namahage
ski
burger
camp.
house.
Nope. What? What's happening? Are you having a stroke?
Well, you kept saying Namahage's ski lessons or whatever.
Ski
camp. And
what does it have to do with burgers?
Well, you said burgers and fries. She's having burgers and fries, and I said,
no, pizza and French fries. That was the thing. That's how you ski.
You do the muscle relaxers.
Roger, are you okay?
Yeah, man, I'm
Drink
good,
some more
dude.
water, man. Come on.
It's been making me thirsty this whole damn show.
Drink some more water.
I'm drinking it, dude.
Jesus.
It's delicious.
Are you okay?
Pizza and fries. Yeah, the Namahage Burger House.
What is happening?
Freaking stupid, dude. I'm stupid.
Okay. Love you, buddy. Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway, Hina's at Namahage ski camp. Mom and Pop are at the hot spring. Anzu's going to be staying with Nita. Anzu didn't go to the hot springs because she didn't want to come between Mom and Pop. And Nita thinks to himself, how much do I have to pay to switch you with Hina? He actually tells her, which is pretty funny. Nita cooks up a nice meal. Anzu takes the plates to the table and says, I'm used to carrying plates. She just puts them at the table for him. They eat. She actually takes the dish. She says, I'll do the washing. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm good at washing dishes. She takes them, goes there, washes them up. And Nita, while this is happening, is just sitting at the table still. And he looks kind of weird. And he says, it seems like it's going to be easier than I thought. So why do I have this uneasy feeling? And then the next day we see Anzu is excited and impressed by everything Nita does. He's got tricks for cleaning up the house. He's got his own special window washing, and she's wiping. She's like, oh, that's amazing because it's so clean. He's chopping up lettuce for a meal. She's like, oh, that's amazing. You're good at chopping lettuce. And Nita this whole time is just happy to be admired. And he also can't help but recall how differently Hina acted to all of this. He sees he remembers chopping lettuce and Hina saying something like, "Oh man, it's weird how good you are at that." And he's like, and there's a bit where like Anzu's sitting there watching some kids show, and the kids show is just these like three weird shaped little guys dancing. One of them is, I think, was doing the suck it motion. Mm-hmm. It's like real loopy, but he's like literally doing the fucking Generation X suck it. Yeah. He's doing the crotch chop. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, she's looking at these. She's like, "Oh wow, this is great." And he remembers Hina watching the same thing, just going lame, which was pretty perfect. I think that's the shot where she's wearing the too cool sweater.
Hina's the best, man.
Hina's amazing. I love her. Yeah, he's just he can't believe like how cool this girl is. He actually says, "Man, she's such a good girl. I can't believe it." And Anzu, as he's doing some laundry, asks him, "Hey, is there anything I can help you with?" And he says, "No, you're my guest. You don't have to do that." And she says, "No, you're taking care of me. I need to help out." And then Nita like just looks at her for a second, puts down the laundry, immediately walks off to his room, and she's like, "Hey, Nita?" And in his room, he just screams. He just screams. He can't stand that he's stuck with Hina while, quote, "those bastards from the Chinese restaurant get to have Anzu." He can't believe it. He's so upset. But he remembers when she first showed up how violent and angry she was. And he says, I'll remind her how crazy she was. And he says, "Come on, we're going out. We're going to have some fun." And she's like, "What?" And she's like, yeah, come on. It's like, this is like a vacation for you. Let's have some fun. Come on. And they go to the aquarium. And she says, "Well, hey, we don't have to go if it costs money." He says, No. It's okay. Mom and Pop are spending money too. It's your day off. You know, that's what you do. You spend some money, you have fun. And they go in, and she's legit having fun. She's amazed by all the pretty fishies that are floating around. And she like tries to grab, and like Nita is standing there like trying to get a rise out of her, but she's like just having such legit fun, and she runs over and grabs his arm and like, come on, let's go this way. And he's like for a second he's like, yeah, let's go, and he stops, he goes, what? And he like pulls his hand back like, no, she almost got me. And he's like, he's trying to be cool, but it's not working. They go to the dolphin show, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so," because they were in the splash zone or whatever, and he's like, yeah, just an evil little kid. I know how this is. Kids are really selfish. I know how this is. He takes her bowling. She gets a freaking strike, and then she runs over. He's like, "I did it." She's like gonna give him a like double high five. I did the thing. And she's like going for a big double high five, and he's got his hands up. And as soon as she gets to him, he goes, "Nope," and just pushes her back. It's like he's really trying to keep a distance and make her like try and get a rise out of her. It's not working because she's just so legit happy to be having fun. They hit up a place called Moshimoen, which is a big theme park, the playland of hopes and dreams, it says on the little map they're carrying. And he tells her, "Hey, it's your day off. I mean, we're having fun." And she's like, they just got off a ride, and she says, "Okay, let's go on this one, and then we can do one you want to do." And he says, No, you pick everything. It's okay to be selfish." And she says, "Well, that's not good." And he's like, "What?" She says, "Like, if a day off is for having fun, then we should be having fun together." And he says, No. But see, and he says, and she cuts him off. "I'd rather have fun together with you." And she gives him a big smile. And Nita dissolves into sand. It just blows away. This scene's amazing. Yeah, he like a pillar of salt, and he just blows into the air. And then we see coming down from the heavens over him a band of angels that are all Anzu, and they're so happy and smiling, and they grab his hands, his arms, and they pull him up with them, and they start to fly away from the underworld, which is a whole a pile of Hina zombies that were holding him down, going, feed me, which is amazing. And he says, what am I doing? And he realizes, hey, we can just have fun. This can be happy. And he says, let's give up. Let's dream. And they have a legit great day together that evening at the amusement park. And he thinks to himself toward the end of it, this is a father's ideal world. Like, he's so happy to like just be having fun with this little girl that he's taking care of. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
He's so grateful and thankful.
Yeah, to have like exactly. She's such a good girl. He's being a dad and he loves it. He's having a legit great time. And
she's
having
everything
a legit great
that
time.
he is not.
Exactly, and it's incredible. And then the next morning, Anzu takes her stuff and she's heading home. Nita actually walks in and says something like, "Oh, hey, what do you want to do today?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm going home today." Oh. And mom and pop are coming home from the hot spring. I got to get out of here. And he says, "Oh, yeah, I forgot." And in his mind, he says, "Reality was coming home, too." And he just sees, like, he imagines, like, this dark specter that is Hina, like, coming home. It's pretty fucked up.
She has a shirt on that says reality.
Yeah, it's great. And then she's gone, and he's just standing there for a second. And then the phone rings. A call. It's Matsutani from Hina's school. He says, I don't know how to say this, but Hina has gone missing in the mountains. And he just goes, "Oh, yeah?" In the dub, I actually watched this, and he goes, "Is that so?" Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reaction. He doesn't freak out. He's just like, "Oh." Notably, in the credits this time, Hina is not there again. But, the end credits are just, like, 3 still images. It's the 2 of them, like, on this busy, like, walkway, like, these shops and everything on either side. It's all dark and sparkly and really pretty. It's, like, obviously nighttime. It's the 2 of them standing there. And then the next one is the 2 of them sitting down and eating. And they're eating, and Nita's, like, doing one of these with his hand on his face and kind of smiling as he's kind of doing a face palm, but he's, like, a happy face palm. Meanwhile, Hina's sitting there, like, eating, and, like, all the vases are floating around them. And then the last shot is him sitting next to Hina, in the bar with everyone from the show around them. Not literally every character, but damn near every character around them. Notably, Anzu sits right next to Hina in that last one. Okay, Hina's not there. It's just him alone on the street. It's him eating alone with the, like, vases and everything laying on the table because they were floating. Now they're just down. Like, they're not even set up. They're, like, laying sideways. The last scene, notably in this one, before when Hina wasn't in it, it was just him, empty seat next to him, and then Anzu's over here. This one, he has moved down a seat and sitting next to Anzu, which is really great. I really liked that detail.
I regret not watching those and focusing.
You should check them out. Check them out. They're pretty great. That's episode 11's ending has that specific one, and it's really good. But that's episode 11. We're on to episode 12. The final episode. Hit it.
Yuki Matsuri.
Yeah, that's what it's called. All right. We see Hina. She's rolling up a big ball of snow. Apparently going to make a snowman. No, it's not making a snowman. She's bringing snow for the igloo because her and Hitomi, Kingo, and Takashi have all gotten lost in the woods, and they're building an igloo.
In the middle of the winter.
In the middle of the winter, and they are building an igloo to try and conserve some kind of heat. Wow. Everybody's freaking out except Hina because she's like, I don't get it. And she actually, one of them says, "I never thought we'd get lost out here." And she says, "Hey, it's no big deal."
Yeah, he is cracking jokes for a hot second here.
Yeah, and they're like, this is no time for puns. It's really great. One of them drops a really great pun later, but Kengo and Hitomi goes over to Hina and says, "Hey, listen, Kengo and Takashi are really worried. Like, let's try and not make light of this." And Hina says, "Well, what's so bad about being lost on a mountain?" And then her stomach just starts growling, and she says, "Oh, I'm hungry." And Hitomi says, "Well, that's one thing. There's no food." And she goes, and then she immediately goes over to the boys who are making the igloo. She says, "Kengo, Takashi, being lost on a mountain is really bad." And they're like, "Yeah, obviously." Like, I love that scene. So then they're all huddled up in this thing. There's some kind of, like, the wind's blowing real hard. It's like blizzard style out there. And Hitomi says, we need to stay inside the igloo to try and conserve energy. And Hina just goes, "Feed me." Takashi is kind of down to be stranded out here, but he's kind of down to be stranded. He's kind of cool with it because it means he gets to be close to Hitomi. He's obviously got a crush on Hitomi. And yeah, winds are raging through the night. It's a straight up blizzard out there. Hitomi's getting pretty dour. Hina says something like, "What's gonna happen if nobody finds us?" And she goes, "I mean, we'll probably die." It's like, damn, Hitomi, like you could have softened that blow a little bit. Everybody's a little freaked out. Hina says, "I'm gonna go use the bathroom," and she just leaves. She just crawls outside into the blowing snow. Takashi, when that happens, says, "Man, she just killed the mood and left. Seriously." Kingo takes this opportunity to apologize to everybody. Says, "This is my fault. I said I knew a shortcut to get back down the mountain. It's my fault we ended up here." They reassure him and they're like, no. We all decided to do this. It's not your fault. And he's like, "You're right. It's not my fault. All right." And they're like, "Okay, well, don't get over it so quick." Later, the snow has stopped and they're all just sitting in there trying to stay warm. And then one of them, I think Kingo, realizes, "Hey, Hina's been gone for a while." And they're like, "What?" And there's like the creepy music, like something's happening. And then you hear like, like these footsteps in the snow. And Hina pops back up and she's like, "Hey." And they're like, "Oh, thank goodness. I didn't know what was going on out there." She says, "Hey, I saw a light over that way." And she points toward the tree line. And they're like, "What? Really? Are they looking for us?" And they all run out. They don't see anything. They just see trees and trees and trees. And they're like, "Are you hallucinating already?" Jeez. And they all go back in. And Hina crawls back in after him and says, "Listen, okay, I need y'all to keep a secret." And they're like, "What is it now?" Like, they're annoyed by her. They know, like, this kid doesn't have any secrets. She's like an idiot. And she goes, she tells them, "I have special powers and I flew through the sky." And they're like, "What are you talking about? That's stupid." And Hitomi, apparently trying to knock her out of this stupor that she believes Hina is in, slaps her. Just straight up slaps her. To which, maybe my favorite line of this episode, Takashi behind her says, "What did Hina what did she do to be rewarded like that?" is what he says.
Yeah.
And Kingo's like, "What?" Because he really likes Hitomi. He's down to get slapped, apparently. Fun. And Hitomi tells Hina to wake up. We have to wait for help. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay. And Hina just looks really annoyed. It's like, and she just pushes her off of her and goes back outside. And they're like, "Hina, wait!" And they go after her. And she's just floating there in the air. And they're like, "Oh, wait, are we hallucinating?" And they're like freaking out now. And the two boys are like, "Wait, okay, no, we're freaking out, right? There's no way that's real. We're hallucinating, obviously." And then they hear Hitomi say, "Hey, guys," and they turn around and see her floating in the air. She's like, "I'm totally floating," which is really great. They can't believe it. Hina does, in fact, have special powers and whatnot. And they all go down the line. Takashi's like, "Amazing." No, Kingo, I think, says amazing. Takashi says, "I thought you were just a poop generator."
Yeah. In the English, he says, "I thought all you did was eat and poop."
Sounds right. And Hitomi says, "Well, now we have hope. Tomorrow, let's use your powers to help them find us," or whatever. And Hina says, and she just faints because she's so hungry and she doesn't have any energy left. The next morning, Kingo and Takashi are gone. Hina is still too hungry to use her power. Hitomi takes her to a clearing and tells her, "Hey, close your eyes." And she closes her eyes, and they sit her down in this clearing, and she and the guys try to convince Hina that she is, in fact, in a fancy sushi shop, and these little packed bits of snow they have are ikura rolls. Because they're trying to convince her that she's eating so that she'll have some energy and she can use her powers to get them out of there. And she eats the snow. It doesn't work. She's like, "This is snow. This is stupid." They're like, No. This is ikura. And here's the pun. Takashi says, "See, look, I have lots of ikura rolls." And then Kingo goes, "Although you're getting a row deal." Badumts. Dude, you're high.
Nah, man, I'm good. I feel good. I feel fine.
All right. Hina pauses, and like they're trying to convince her that she's really eating this stuff. Hitomi actually like gorges herself on it. She like eats a whole bunch. She's like, "Look, it's so yummy." Like, and then she like falls over. She says, "Brain freeze." And then they're like, "Oh man, Hitomi, are you okay?" She's like, "No, I ate too much wasabi." Like, she doesn't want to break the illusion or whatever.
Yeah, one of the kids like Salmon roe doesn't come with wasabi.
It does not. It does not, and that doesn't even make sense. But Hina just sits there like paused and not doing anything. But then finally she smiles, keeps her eyes closed, and she says, I'll try. And then she apparently eats some. Later we see a helicopter flying overhead. The guys in the helicopter sees the kids standing next to what appear to be two massive snow sculptures of Ikara rolls. And one of them says, wait, where they're standing, are they supposed to be the ginger on the side?
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, who cares? Get us down there, because they need to save these kids. Hina's just straight up passed out in that scene. But they end up picking him up. Hina wakes up, wait for it, in Namahage General Hospital. Jesus, right? Like, what's going on here? Nita's there. She wakes up and he's like, geez, I was really worried. And she says, hey, I want real Ikara, not the cold stuff. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever you want. And then roll credits, and it's great. It's beautiful. You see all these scenes of like what everybody's doing afterwards. It's really nice. And then, because we're only halfway through the episode, time jump 3 years later.
Yeah. Straight to the very first episode.
Straight back to the very beginning of the very first episode.
And I didn't even put this together last time I watched it. Mm-hmm. The first episode that I rewatched for the podcast, I caught it then. I was like, oh, I forgot all about this happening.
Yeah, the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
Yep.
But it's 3 years later, we're in China. We see Atsushi, who's on some sort of mission. He says, I'll find a way to complete Rakusion, which is a clever portmanteau of rock and illusion. It's not easy to say. Rakusion.
Rakusion.
Is how it's spelled in the dub anyway. He sees a demonstration at some kind of what appears to be like a monk temple, like some kind of training school for this special martial art. Mao. He sees Mao there, the redhead girl. There's a line of 5 pots lined up. She strikes one on the side after focusing her cheese or whatever she's pretending to do, and shatters all of them in one single blow with only touching one of them on the end. It's amazing. Atsushi says, "Yes, this is what I've been looking for. It's the same as Hina's power." And he tries to talk to Mao, but it's pulled away by a couple of monks who are like, no, get away from her. And he also he's speaking Japanese, but he's like, oh wait, I don't speak Chinese, and he's like trying to speak Chinese because he's in China. He thinks she speaks Chinese, etc., etc. He gets pulled away. Later in her room, Mao has 2 weird like wooden mug things. We saw one of them in the very first episode, but they are made up like Hina and Anzu. That's what that was. She was fighting with in the first episode. We see a brief flashback 3 years ago. She made it to land, traveled very far. By a train and stuff, living in the slums and whatnot, and she ends up picked up by this martial arts monastery type place when they saw her performing on the streets. This small girl with her arms perfectly, like directly perpendicular to her body, holding these 2 gigantic pots that are heavier than her or bigger than her. It's outrageous. Obviously, she was using her powers. They don't know that. They think she's just got something special. So we then get a brief shot of this bald monk who later she calls Shiny Head, or I guess probably Baldy in the.
No, I think she still said Shiny Head.
Shiny Head.
Yeah.
Okay. But we see this guy meeting with the master after listening on her talking to her little wooden dolls in her room. Says that she's muttering to the dolls in Japanese again. They said, yeah, there's something weird about that girl, but we wouldn't be where we are now if it weren't for her. She's so incredibly strong and whatnot. And they say, well, we need to keep an eye on her and that weird Japanese guy from earlier at the demonstration. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. At a restaurant, Mao sits with her dolls when Atsushi enters, and he tells her, hey, I'm trying to find some real magic, and I'm sure that you got it, and blah, blah, blah. He's talking to her. And she thinks to herself, man, this guy's crazy. And then she bends over to the dolls and says, hey, let's get out of here. And she picks him up, and he thinks, oh, she's talking to dolls. She must be crazy. Which is pretty great. They just think each other is insane. But she starts to leave, but then he begs her, saying, no, I need to show Hina that I can do it without her. And she freezes when she hears Hina. And she turns around, she says, wait, like this? And she shows him the doll. And he says, yeah, that kind of looks like her, same hair color and everything. And she just starts crying. She says, I finally have a lead. And she says, listen, okay, I'll teach you this Qigong style if you take me to Hina. And he's like, yeah, sure, totally. which is when Shiny Head and a bunch of monks show up. The two of them, Mao and Atsushi, run through a window. They jump out a window. They run. They take off. The monks give chase. As they're chasing, she turns and hurls the Anzu wooden doll at one of the guys and just nails him right in the face. And then we go into that same scene at the beginning of the first episode. She beats down a bunch of dudes. This other baldy head monk starts to pull out his phone to call for backup. She knocks his phone away, and then we see the other monks running up on her. And as she's trying to figure out how she's going to get out of this, she doesn't want to use her powers because then they'll know she has powers. She needs to like pretend to use her fakey fake like karate or whatever that she's
superhuman,
doing. Yeah, they call it. It's the superhuman
martial arts.
The superhuman. What did they call it? That was the name of the freaking like group. Superhuman martial arts. Yeah, that's just what they call it. Superhuman martial arts. It's goofy. It's a fun name. That is goofy, but she's trying to figure out what she's going to do. She can't just blow these guys away. And Atsushi says, hey, I want to help, even though I'm really confused as to what's going on. She's like, okay. And she just grabs him, picks him up. It looks like she's just picking him up by the shirt. She is, of course, using her powers. And he says, wait a minute, I recognize this. It's just like Hina before. And she hurls him at these dudes and he knocks over all of them because she's obviously guiding him to hit all of them. Yeah, it's really great. She just hucks Atsushi at these dudes. He recognizes that feeling, and as this is all going down, Master shows up and tells them to stop. And Mao tells him that she intends to leave for Japan, and the Master says, "Okay, fine. Your talents have brought us great fortune. You may leave if you pass the trial of the superhuman martial arts." Dun dun dun. So they go back to the friggin' monastery or whatever thing, his training ground, and they unveil a huge. It looks like one of those like wooden training dummies. I looked it up. It's called a Murei Zhuang or something like that. It's one of those like wooden training dummies that like, you know, have a little arm. It looks like a log with a little arm sticking off of it. I just hit the mic. That was probably pleasant for everyone. That there's a little spike there. That has the like little wooden arms on it that you smack around. Except this one's made completely out of metal, and those arms spin at incredible speeds. The ones on top going one way, the ones on bottom going the other way, etc., etc. They show just how strong it is by holding up a big boulder and like touching it to the spinning metal arms, which immediately shatters the boulder. It goes flying everywhere. Master actually gets hit a little bit, and he's like, yeah, okay.
He says, owie.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely outrageous. She says, and he tells her, you may leave if you can destroy this metal man. And he says something. Hang on, let me look it up here. I wrote it down. He says, of course, you are very well versed in Naikaken style, but this can only be defeated with Gaikaken. Why don't you study that for a little while? Because he doesn't want her to leave. And she's like, no, I got this. She walks up, gets right in front of these spinning arms, and then steps toward them and goes, whoop, and like lifts up her right leg and her left arm and stops them using her powers. And they're actually like, what? And then like, when they stop, she like whoop moves her arm and her leg over a little bit so that it looks like they're touching.
For it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. She like moves her leg and arm over so it looks like she actually stopped them with her arm and leg and not her actual powers that she's obviously using. And then they're like, no way, they were moving too fast. It can't be done. And then she, using her right hand, her free hand, punches it, just pushes it. It flies backwards through this brick wall, explodes on the other side of it. Everybody's freaking out, and they're like, I can't believe it. So, Master allows her to leave. They all go to the, the airport. And Mao, along with Atsushi and Shiny Head, he says, you will be allowed to leave then, to go to Japan, to open new branches of the school. And it's like, okay, yeah, like you could really stop her. But it's a good way to do it because now she's at least got a support system while she's over there. So it works. But that's his reasoning, is that he's going to go and open new branches of their martial arts school. And as they're moving to get on the plane and going, I love this line. Atsushi says, finally, I'm on my way to perfecting Rakujen. And Mao says, finally, I can tell Ikaruga that I lost my balls. Which is pretty great.
Yeah.
That's the end of the show. So we do know that, like, Obviously, that's a cliffhanger. We don't get a whole lot of resolution there. There's good stuff, but we know there's more to the story because, all this stuff is happening, all these characters. I did look on the Wikipedia a little bit, and, no spoilers, nothing. There was a little bit of information about, this thing and that thing, and a lot of it did not make sense to me, but because it wasn't expounded upon on the thing at all. But I'm looking forward to hopefully we get another season of this show, because I'd love to see what happens next. It's pretty freaking rad. But that's the end of the show. We did it. We got through another one. Roger, how's it feel?
Feels pretty good, dude.
You're looking really relaxed over there, man.
Yeah, I am relaxed.
I feel like your muscles
a bit tired, too.
Are very relaxed. You got them relaxed muscles.
Oh, yeah, they're super relaxed.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, we made it. And hey, bud.
Yeah.
How you feeling about this show? How'd you feel about it? You want to do a little
I really liked it.
thing?
Yeah, let's do some words. I'm trying to. It's like
I really like this, and it struck a really good chord between hilarious and heartfelt. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
that would
those
be
are
two
good
of my
words.
You get your own fucking words. Those are mine. It's hilarious. It's heartfelt.
It's goofy, man.
It is very good. I almost said goofy.
It's goofy, and it's touching, and it's stupid all at once.
It is very stupid, yes, but
great.
It's a lot of fun.
I like it.
No, I feel like stupid's a thing you would use to describe asobi asobase. This was more like goofy.
There are some scenes in Hina, mostly with Hina that like I think I lost a couple of brain cells.
Yeah, it was real goofy. Like the fucking box thing, I thought was like, okay, what? But it was very cute. Yeah, the way she just looks over,
She's so proud of herself.
It's amazing.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, the show was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad we watched it.
Yeah, it was a good second watch.
So, now are you telling me, bud, that we got some questions?
We have one question from our good buddy Clayton.
Just one damn question.
He says, what RPG classes would your favorite anime manga characters be?
What in the fuck? Alright. Give me a character. Give me a character.
Vegeta.
Vegeta?
A warrior.
More than a warrior. He's got to be like... that's a tough one because I want to call him like a berserker or something because he gets so angry, but he's also very controlled when he does it. Yeah, he's definitely some kind of fighter class. Goku's a monk.
A monk?
For sure. Because he whips all the ass, but he's also like... I mean, both of them, really. That's how I would break it down. If I'm going like D&D classes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're both like some kind of warriors. Give me some.
All Might.
All Might, fucking paladin.
Paladin, okay.
Yeah, he's got a very strict code that he adheres to very, very, very closely. Yeah, he's a paladin. He's a warrior class that like very much cares about his shit.
Okay. Violet Evergarden.
Violet Evergarden. Fuck you, dude. That's a toughie. Violet, shit, man. I would, some kind of, okay, so a lot of what I'm going for, like when I think RPG, my first thought is like, like a video game role playing game, which most of those, if not all, take their fucking basis from like Dungeons & Dragons and other shit like that. So I'm thinking mostly Dungeons & Dragons characteristics on this one. Violet Evergarden, that's a fucking toughie. She would probably... Here, you do one while I think about this. Because I do want to think of something for Violet.
Let's see. Anzu from Hinamatsuri should be a thief.
Yeah, she did do a lot of that. Some kind of rogue class. Man, I'm still thinking of Violet. Violet might be some kind of cleric.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking.
She does have a good way of like, getting to like straight to the feelings of people, whether they want it or not. She's definitely got some stuff going on there.
D&D classes.
I've got them here, dude.
Oh, you got all of them?
I got like, so that's the thing. You have classes, then you have subclasses, but the main classes are barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. That's all your magic shit at the bottom.
Okay.
Although druid's also magic and etc. etc. I think she'd be some manner of cleric. There's actually different kinds of cleric and shit. We're just going full D&D on this one.
Yeah. Let's see. I would put. Who would I make a druid?
We're just trying to think of one.
Yeah,
for each one,
that's what I was. I was like, it might be easier to do this, but it's really not. This is a super good question. I wish I would have thought about it, but I thought it was going to be really easy, but it turns out it wasn't really easy. A barbarian.
I'm looking at like different domains and shit for clerics to try and figure out exactly which one Violet would be. Because that's the thing, man. I mean, when you get down to it, there's different classes, but then there's also subclasses and shit. Like domain-wise, there's a cleric domain called the ambition domain. That's Vegeta.
Uh-huh.
And Vegeta's all about his ambition and whatnot. Although, I mean, I definitely just want to make him a fighter because it makes so much more sense. Let's see. Give me a...
Let's see. I would say Joe is a barbarian.
Joe, that makes sense. That works for me.
All right, we need a bard. We got somebody musical. Who makes that good music?
It doesn't have to necessarily be music, just some kind of performance. So, who would be a bard? Miss Joke would be a bard.
Okay, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense from MHA.
Yeah, it does. Druid.
Who's a druid? So that's mostly... I mean, your mind immediately goes to like nature and shit, but it's not necessary. That's also animals and stuff like that.
My mind just wanders straight to the anime, the Ancient Magus' Bride.
Oh yeah, I still haven't watched that.
Pretty much any character from that could fit into that.
But yeah, it's like animals, nature mostly, but there is other stuff there.
You said you're gonna put Goku as a monk?
I mean, that was my first thought. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily... Because, like, you think monk, you think, like, a really serious dude who, like, is all, you know, about pureness of body and mind and that kind of shit. But that's not necessarily true. Man, I'm really going off on tangents here, huh?
We have All Might as a paladin.
I feel like All Might would be a paladin.
The Ranger. Let's say...
you mostly think, like, long-range shooting and stuff, but not necessarily. But...
God, what is his name from Attack on Titan?
Levi?
Yeah, Levi.
Yeah, that could work.
Put Levi as a ranger. There we go.
He's a real toughie. There is like a dual wielding ranger class that would be perfect for...
I'm trying to come up with characters, too, that aren't necessarily, like I can think of... sorcerers in anime, okay, but I don't want to just outright give a sorcerer.
So for example, here's one that I feel like could not be more obvious. I don't know how you argue with this. One Punch Man is for sure a monk.
Okay, yeah.
Because just because he's got the bald head, but because monks specialize in like repeated attacks and like one and like not using weapons necessarily,
right.
Although they do have monk weapons.
Sorcerer.
Jesus, like. You know who would be a good sorcerer? Although it's like you got to think about it. Fucking Vash.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's the thing. A sorcerer doesn't. It doesn't. So you do have magic, obviously, but more than that, you have something that you're getting that power from. So it's not. Usually, it's because you made some kind of deal with a demon or something. But it could also be you were just born with these incredible powers and stuff, or you were even created with them. So that would make sense. And he does that. I mean. If you don't call turning your arm into a giant laser cannon magic, I don't know what is.
I think it'd be easier for me to say it's somebody like Edward Elric.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like they're actually actively doing stuff.
Yep.
Although he would be. That's the thing. Like with alchemy and stuff, that makes sense. But it wasn't that he was like born or created that way. He like something happened to him. So that might. Oh no, I'm thinking of warlock for the born shit. So yeah, but sorcerer. Yeah, it's like you're. Yeah. So warlock or sorcerer would work for that. I think of him more as a wizard though, just because he's got access to like so much more stuff. He's not like pigeonholed into one specific thing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing there is wizards don't have any inherent magic ability. They learn the shit by reading and stuff, and that's all he ever does is he's learning shit by reading. So he'd probably be a wizard, I think. Warlocks are the ones who are born, like, either born under a dark star or you have a deal with a demon or something. Maybe... I mean, I feel like that should be obvious. There's so many ways where people have the fucking...
Yeah, I feel like this...
shit. Man, I'm really nerding out over here, bro.
Yeah.
What's GTO?
Oh.
He's a bard.
Yeah,
he inspires greatness.
Right, yeah.
He's absolutely a bard. He inspires greatness.
But his cross class was with probably like a monk or maybe a barbarian.
Maybe, yeah.
I got nothing for a warlock. Just
got nothing for a warlock. Yeah. So warlocks, let's just read up on warlocks to make sure I'm saying this right, because now I'm doing it wrong. What I like to do is if you just punch in whatever class and then leveling table, you can find a link to the D&D 5th edition wiki, which is a good way of doing that shit. Yay! So, basic features, blah, blah, blah. So, as a warlock, the main thing for you is you have some kind of otherworldly patron. You've struck a bargain with an otherworldly being of your choice. Your choice grants you special features. So you could be... here's one. Now this is, I'm sure this has to be from like some kind of, this is from Unearth Arcana. But, and stick with me here, one of the otherworldly beings you could have a pact with is the Ghost in the Machine. So
you're going to put it on the major?
Why not?
Yeah, might as well. All right, man, this one's dragging on. We're thinking too hard about this.
I mean, this is the kind of thing I would have had to think about before. Yeah. But there's a lot of cool shit.
Super good question, though, buddy.
I like my Dungeon Dragons. All right.
Yeah, let us know who you would put.
Who would
go find a place to comment. And
I gotta get one more out of this. Hang on. So we did...
Okay, Brandon's gonna get one more. But Clayton, you let me know who you'd pick.
I got nothing. I feel like we nailed it with GTO as a bard. I feel like that was the really good one.
That's a good one. Onizuka, he makes a perfect bard.
Yeah, man. He inspires greatness in people.
Alrighty, man.
Words and actions.
Let's truck on out of here. Yeah.
Well, what are we watching next week? We already said to say it again.
My Hero Academia, episodes 57 through 60.
We're up to right now. Out on the dub is 59. So tomorrow 60 comes out. So we're gonna watch that and cover those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 57, 8, 59, 6. That's 4 whole episodes. Baby stuff. Nailed it. All right. Then after that, you'll find out next week. All right. Although it should be fairly obvious. But yeah, let's hit some plugs. We thanks again for the question, Clayton. Sorry, we were just all over the place with that one, but it was fun. And it was a great question, and I wish I'd thought about it beforehand. Anyway, we do have some plugs. If you want to send us questions like our good buddy Clayton, or leave us comments or anything like that, we have several places you can do it. Of course, there's the Gmail, thegoodbuddiesanimepod@gmail.com. We also have the Good Buddies Facebook group, the Good Buddies Universe. There is also the Twitter, TGB_animepod. We even have a Tumblr, thegoodbuddies.tumblr.com. Yeah, they all have different names, and you'll be fine. Yeah. You may be listening to this right now.
You'd be surprised how many times the name is taken.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a band called the Good Buddies, I found out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how big they are, but they exist, and I'm going to look up their music, and it's going to be great. But yeah, we also, you're listening to this podcast right now somewhere. Might be on iTunes, might be on Podbean, might be on Podcast Addict. That's what I use. But wherever it is, it ain't Spotify.
That's right.
And wherever it is, you can leave us a rating and a comment, and we'd really appreciate it. You may even be listening to this on YouTube, at Rapid Kick Media on YouTube. Smash that like button.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how good of a job you're doing. We're doing.
Or if we didn't do a good job, go ahead and leave us a like and a comment anyway, because otherwise we won't respond to you. You dick.
Oh my God.
I love you guys. But beyond that, I think, is that the me? Oh, we do have the music, but is that all the media stuff?
I think so.
I asked you every time, and I'm never sure.
Yeah, that's good, dude.
All right. Of course, we want to give a shout out to our good buddies Married with Seamonsters, a.k.a. the Mary Janes, for the use of our opening theme song, Paperdoll. They are on Spotify, unlike us, because, they're so cool. But
Roger just saw a bug jump off the table.
No, I had a piece of paper that I was playing with, and
you flicked it?
I lost it. I flicked it on my
I thought that was a bug or something. Jesus. She's over here staring at the floor, and I'm like, dude, you okay?
Dude, that
You're
muscle
very sleepy.
relaxer's kicked in, dude.
It's hitting you good now?
Yeah, man,
All right.
I'm tired.
You'll be fine. We're almost done.
I feel bad. I feel like I was not good this episode. But
of course, as I said, our good buddies, Married with Seamonsters, a.k.a. the Mary Janes. Opening theme song was Paperdoll. They are on Spotify, but that song and so many other amazing songs are only available on marriedwithseamonsters.bandcamp.com. We do also want to give a shout out to our good buddy Petty Theft. Yeah. That's how it go. All right. Hopefully y'all can hear that and I'm not just like and oohing over nothing.
Yeah.
But that is how you say it. 2 P's at the beginning, 2 T's at the end. Petty Theft. You can find their stuff on... they're on Twitter and SoundCloud under Petty Theft for the use of our closing theme, which we are still calling Sweet Anime Dreams. For the time being. Maybe we'll... if you got a better name than that, float it.
Sweet Flex Royal Dreams.
Flex Royal?
Flexareal. Flexareal.
Is that what your muscle relaxer is called?
Sweet Flexareal.
Bro, you're fucking high. But yeah, that's it for the show. Thank you so much for listening. We love and appreciate every one of you. You taking us out, big boy?
Yeah, I'll take us out.
All right. So from all of us here at the Good Buddies Universe, I'm your good buddy Brandon.
And I'm your good buddy Roger. Yeah!
You're so hot!